Hi everyone, welcome to the Business of Boutique Fitness podcast. I'm Heather, the CMO of the Bespoke division here at Studio Grow, and I'm really happy to be joined by my co-host today, Alina. Welcome, Alina.
Thank you, Heather. Really excited to be here with you today. And I am the Director of SYSP, so Start Your Studio Profitably here at Studio Grow.
So we've got the right person here then in that case to be talking all about grand opening, because you must be working with clients all the time who are going through this.
Yes, this is definitely a topic that I'm really excited to dive into today. And let's be honest, it can be a really nerve-wracking topic for clients as well. And they've built up to this for such a long time. Their dream is finally coming to fruition. So this is something that we want to make sure they do well. And we want to make sure they're fully prepared for it. And the key stages that we go through are really critical in making sure that it is successful. So I think today we're hopefully going to dive into the nitty-gritty details behind how you get to that point of your grand opening and some of the key takeaways and some things to look at avoiding as well.
Yeah, that's right. So here today, we're going to take you step by step through everything you're going to need to make your grand opening a success, and to really draw on some real world strategies of things that we've seen working really well for our clients as they open studios all over the world. So we're here to set you up for success and long-term revenue.
Absolutely. So we're going to cover everything from timelines, promotions, partnerships, and all those little things that make a big difference when it comes to your launch day and beyond.
That's right. So if you're in launch mode at the moment, or maybe you're just starting to plan the launch of your new studios, grab your notebook, because this could save you thousands and help you hit profitability even faster.
So you will have hopefully listened to some of our other episodes, and we've covered a lot in other episodes over the last few years on presale, on opening. But today we're going to really just focus on that time from soft opening through to grand opening. So let's start with the soft opening. For anyone that's new to that term, perhaps, a soft opening is essentially your trial run before the grand reveal. And it's not about perfection. It's about learning and refining, and doing that with your founding members who feel part of that community and really early adopters early on.
Yeah, that's right. So think of this like your dress rehearsal. It's your time to get everything right, to polish those things with stress testing your systems, building your team culture, really fine-tuning that client experience before all eyes are on you.
And here's why it matters ultimately. According to a study by MindBody actually back in 2023, 80% of boutique studio owners that reached profitability in their first year did so with some form of soft launch. So it is a really critical thing to do. And with the department that I run here at Studio Grow, we want studios not to reach profitability in year one. We want them to reach profitability on day one.
Yeah, that's right. So this is absolutely huge. So your main goal here with your grand opening is to make sure that your product market fit is absolutely solid. That means that your classes, your pricing, and the overall vibe of your studio really resonates with your audience. So before you start investing heavily in like that big launching campaign and beyond.
And timing wise, we usually recommend that your soft opening starts around 12 weeks out from your grand opening. And that gives you enough space to make any adjustments and still build momentum for that launch. And that ties in really nicely with your presale. So your presale will usually start around 6 to 8 weeks out from your soft opening. And then during that final phase, we can then move forward through to your grand opening.
Great. So let's delve in a little more into this soft opening period. Let's really think about like what really do you want to be focusing on during this really important time. So first off, operating logistics. So that's your booking software, your CRM, your payments, and your whole check-in flow. What you want to be making sure is that everything there is working smoothly before your big day, so that your team feel confident in the systems that they're using. You know the reports that you want to be looking at on a regular basis. And that really importantly, actually, as well, that the client experience is very smooth. It's easy for people to book classes and buy memberships with you.
And your training here is key as well. Obviously, all of your staff will have undergone a lot of their training before you even opened for the soft opening. But it doesn't stop there. This is a continual evolution and a continual process into many years into your business. And I think that's something a lot of studio owners forget, is that we should be training our teams all the time. And this period of soft opening is the key time to do that. And it's really about embedding your brand values into that customer experience, and whether that be a decision they have to make, the way in which something's communicated, it should always be based on your brand values and purpose. And we can use that early client feedback to actually tweak what we're doing and upskill your team actually as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's also the perfect time to start building community during this soft launch phase. So it's your chance to like hold small events, run exclusive classes, organize maybe founder meet and greets where you get people coming in, and maybe after class they can stay and talk to you, hosting kind of drinks and nibbles and things. People really love feeling like insiders. So during this soft launch period, I've really kind of play up to that and give people opportunities to feel like they're a part of building something with you.
And I think it's important to remember as well, obviously these are real clients and they've signed up during that pre-sale period, and Heather is 100% right. That whole insider mentality, those early adopters, people love to be part of something new and to be really on the ground as a founder member. But that doesn't mean they still have a certain level of expectation. And I think during this soft opening, yes, you will be refining things. Yes, you will probably make a few small mistakes along the way. And that's absolutely okay. But you still need to make sure you've done that prep work before so that you are opening in a fit state to open, both from an operational side of things, a sales side and a customer side. So it's that balance. It's most of the hard work has been done by this point. This is your opportunity just to refine and improve what you're doing. And we touched on this a second ago as well, but this is where that final stage of founder member pricing works really well. We usually see that wave 1 and 2 are sold out before you even get to the soft opening. In some cases, we've had wave 1 sell out in a matter of hours, which is just an incredible experience. We're usually then going into that wave 3 in the soft opening. And this is the final chance for people to sign up on a discounted rate before it returns to full standard pricing come day 1. So this is a great time to really create that urgency and scarcity with potential clients, especially at these community events that Heather mentioned. Offering a limited number of these spaces creates such excitement and really helps push those sales across the line. And you will find that depending on the buyer type of your client, some won't sign up in pre-sale. They won't sign up till they physically get to experience what you're offering. So during this time as well, this is where we often introduce the trials and the intro offers. Up until this point, we don't usually sell those intro packs. That comes at this stage where you've actually got something for them to physically try.
So having done that then, so soft opening is done, preparing for the actual grand opening, the really big day, what would you say you need to start focusing on then?
Good question. I think one of the biggest things is getting the timing right. And I think to do this, and it varies for every studio in different locations, different audiences. So it's really understanding your client base as to when that perfect timing is. A lot of clients often opt for a weekend launch so that people are most likely to be off work and they can target those. And it's often worth considering aligning it with a local event or seasonality as well. And that's a really key consideration. Obviously, in the industry, we generally know that January, September are often busy times for a lot of studios. December, July, August are fairly quiet times. But there are some variations to that, especially with collegiate towns where they do have influx at different points. So really think about your audience and when they are going to be most active and most available to come to your launch event.
Makes sense. And then so once you've thought about that audience, the next thing to really do is think about your KPIs. Setting KPIs for yourself that are really going to help drive your business forward. So that might be class capacity is definitely going to be one you look for. Are you aiming for 80% and above? Are you aiming for a certain number of memberships sold or securing strategic partnerships? The important thing is to be really clear on what those targets are around your grand opening, and not just for you as an owner, founder, but to make sure that your team are also really aware of that too, and that everyone's working together to hit those targets.
And budget smartly as well, I think I'd add into the mix there. So you will have done your really robust financial forecasts prior to this point anyway, but make sure you're allocating resources for marketing, staff, giveaways, and PR. And don't spend everything on the day itself. Yes, you want it to be a big bang. You want it to be memorable. You want it to be a great experience for clients. but you need funds to sustain that post-launch push as well. So it's always worth just making sure you have budgeted enough at that point to continue that momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, so for those event formats you might be thinking of, you can mix it up. You can do what feels right for your brand and what you know that your members will be interested in. So that might be free sample classes, creating a local vendor market, or you could do something like a workout and brunch, particularly if you've got a great kind of brunch place that you can partner with, a lunch place, to combine fitness and that social connection.
And I think PR in this case isn't optional. We've got to make sure we've got bums on seats at these types of events. And that doesn't just come from one quick social media post or one email. We need to be thinking strategically about that marketing campaign throughout that period and that comms strategy ultimately. And there's other opportunities outside of perhaps some of the more traditional channels you'll be looking at, is spend some time thinking about the community and what's around you. So, for example, reaching out to local wellness blogs, any micro-influencers that may be in the area, any fitness influencers that you do have a connection with and you can build a relationship with. Obviously, we don't want to be paying huge fees to these people, so there's often a way of negotiating them working for you, or working with you, should I say, and get people locally excited about your launch well before the doors open. And I think the key here is choose businesses, individuals, influencers that resonate with your brand and have similar, their values are aligned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so similarly, as Alina, you were saying, about kind of looking at your local area, the other thing to really kind of focus on there is like potential partnerships. So particularly local partnerships. We spoke a little bit earlier about, maybe kind of partnering with a brunch place around your event launch. Think about like long-term relationships that you want to have with other businesses in your area. So that might be wellness brands, it might be juice bars, coffee shops, salons. Basically, you're looking at any business that already has the target market that you're aiming for. So it's the type of people that you want talking really positively about your brand and understanding what it is that you do. So you might want to do kind of collaborations, you might want to do giveaways, a pop-up experience either in their space or in yours, but really try and get yourself integrated within the local community and feeling part of what's going on.
Absolutely, and I touched on this already, but influencer marketing can play a really key role here as well. But my biggest advice is skip those big accounts. If you have a friendship with them and you know them, absolutely get them in. But what we find most effective, and it's specifically cost effective, is when it comes to working with local micro-influencers, but those who have a genuine relationship with your target audience. And that can be through social media channels, so it could be TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, etc. But what we often find works really well is people who run local WhatsApp groups within your community, who aren't what you traditionally define as an influencer, but they are people who have influence in your local area. So it could be, if your target audience is mums, for example, then actually see if you can tap into those local school groups, nursery groups, those local community groups. And if you can get them to be your brand ambassadors, and there's creative ways of doing that without paying a physical price for it. Often these people want your services as well. So there's an exchange of support here that can take place. And by befriending them, you not only get access to their audiences, but you get some really incredible feedback. And I do it with a number of different local parent groups for my business. And what we find there is not only can we push out kind of promotions, events, what's happening, but I also actually use them as a platform to get feedback. So quarterly, they will send out a survey and we then get some really great insight, and they feel really heard and valued, the people part of this group that we've asked them for their feedback. And it's just a great way of really building that momentum and community.
Yeah, that's great. And so thinking about the kind of promotions that you can offer during this time, maybe I would definitely recommend think about bring a friend offers, anything that's going to encourage those referrals, as Alina was saying, and you want to get those people in the community talking about you. There might be membership raffles. You might work with local schools are a really good one that are always on the lookout for businesses that are going to kind of donate things for their raffles and other fundraising opportunities, social media challenges. And so whatever you're doing, make sure that with it, you're able to hopefully capture some content as well and user-generated content if possible, that comes via the event that you can then repurpose for your own social channels, because that's where the real marketing gold is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we see this in a lot of the trends reports as well. And the 2024 FitBiz report showed that studios using influencer marketing at launch see 65% higher class attendance in the first 30 days. And that's not a small lift. That's, that can be really influential on your business.
Absolutely. So we've done grand openings done. It's all gone really well. What next, Alina? How do we follow up on that?
What next? Lots to come next. And I think the one thing to note is that yes, there's a huge amount of hard work that goes into getting your studio open, from that initial business plan right the way through to construction, build, fit out and launch. But it doesn't stop there. We've got to keep that momentum going. And there's several things that we always recommend you do, because it is overwhelming. It is emotional. Like, there will be highs and there'll be lows. But one of the things I really love doing after a big launch is actually just take a moment to reflect. So gather your team and debrief. Yes, not on the day of the launch. Enjoy that moment. But after that event, sit down, speak to them, find out from different people's perspectives, whether it be your front house, your instructors, your studio manager perhaps. Find out from them what they heard, what worked well, what would they change. And use this feedback while it's fresh as well. And if you have a close group of members as well, it's often, some of those founding members can be a really useful tool at this stage as well to speak with them.
Yeah, great. And then there's a real opportunity to make sure you're kind of keeping that momentum going. You will have generated an awful lot of interest over that soft launch, big grand opening. You would have spoken to loads of people. Not all of them will have bought memberships or bought classes straight away, but you will have those people within your database. So then making sure that you're really following up with email, following up with SMS, continue to communicate with people, retargeting those people who've shown interest, but not quite ready to make that decision to purchase, but who will convert in future. So make sure that you're really capitalizing on that buzz that you've created, and it's got a long tail, and you're continuing to sell memberships from the back of it.
And I think with that in mind, one of the things that we talk about a lot is creating urgency and scarcity. And that isn't just for the pre-sale process. That's in your marketing in general over time. And Heather, you're the expert when it comes to that side of things. How do you go about creating that urgency and buzz with clients once perhaps those pre-sale offers have ended?
Yeah. So, even though the pre-sale offers are ended, you're still able to have time-limited offers and time-limited marketing. And what you want to be able to do is can communicate the need to people to sign up sooner rather than later. So if you're going to have any campaigns that are running, you'll have a couple of campaigns seasonally a year. Make sure that it's very clear that these are limited time only available to people. And also you want to be talking about the benefits of joining, that this isn't something that people want to delay coming to, because they were going to want to start getting the benefits straight away. But be really clear whenever you are running that campaign that this is not an offer that's going to be around for long. People do really thrive and make decisions based on that sense of urgency. Right, so to wrap it all up then, to reiterate, we want you to start with that soft launch. So refining your offer gives you that great testing ground, that dress rehearsal that allows you to then plan for a grand opening that's both strategic and really memorable, that's going to bring you in lots of leads and converting into lots and lots of new members. Once you've done that grand opening, follow up with really strong post-launch activity that's going to turn that excitement that you've generated into real revenue for your business.
And we'd love to hear your own launch stories and successes. So let us know in the comments, and please do share this with other studio owners. But share with us not only what's worked for you, but what you'd perhaps do differently, because we're a community here and we want to share knowledge and help others grow and start their businesses profitably.
That's right. And so if you're in a launch period or planning a launch for your business right now, then re-listen to this episode with the calendar open. Make sure that you subscribe to the podcast, because we've got lots of other content specifically around starting your studio profitably, and all those practical tips and techniques that you're going to need to really help you make your idea a success.
So thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next time on the Business of Boutique Fitness podcast.